Breaking. Elena Rybakina takes down Aryna Sabalenka. In Australian Open final, Elena Rybakina has finally had her moment of redemption on the sport's biggest stage in Melbourne. 3 years after suffering a heartbreaking defeat in the 2023 Australian Open final, the calm and ice-cold Kazakh produced a masterclass under pressure to dethrone world #1 Aryna Sabalenka, winning 6-4, 4-6, 6-4 to lift the Daphne Akhurst Memorial Cup for the first time in her career on a buzzing Rod Laver arena. The long-awaited rematch delivered everything it promised: power, precision, emotional swings, and championship-level resilience. In the end, it was Rybakina's composure and tactical clarity that proved decisive, as she outlasted the two-time Australian Open champion in a gripping three-set battle. A final years in the making, this showdown felt inevitable. Rybakina and Sabalenka have defined the modern power era of women's tennis, with their rivalry built on fearless shot-making and razor-thin margins. Their previous Australian Open final in 2023 ended in Sabalenka's favor, leaving Rybakina visibly crushed but determined to return stronger. Fast forward to 2026, and the narrative was perfectly set. Sabalenka entered the final chasing a historic third Australian Open title, having bulldozed her way through the draw without dropping a set. Rybakina, meanwhile, arrived quietly but confidently, displaying a blend of controlled aggression and mental steel that hinted she was ready to rewrite history. First set. Rybakina strikes first. The opening set echoed the early stages of their 2023 final. Rybakina immediately took the initiative, using her flat, penetrating ground strokes to rush Sabalenka and deny her rhythm. Her serve, one of the most lethal weapons on tour, was firing with precision, consistently earning her cheap points and keeping the Belarusian on the back foot. A crucial break midway through the set proved enough. Rybakina stayed flawless in the big moments, closing out the set 6-4 and handing Sabalenka her first drop set of the entire tournament. The message was clear: this final would not follow the same script as before. Second set. The champion responds. True champions don't fade quietly, and Sabalenka showed exactly why she sits atop the WTA rankings. The second set saw a noticeable shift in momentum as she raised her intensity, stepped inside the baseline, and began dictating rallies with her trademark power. Rybakina's level dipped just slightly, and that was all Sabalenka needed. The Belarusian forced errors, broke serve at a critical moment, and surged ahead with renewed confidence. Her 6-4 second set comeback reignited the contest and sent the final into a decisive third set, with the crowd fully invested in the drama. Deciding set. Ice in her veins, the third set was a test not just of tennis skill, but of nerve. Both players traded holds early, neither willing to blink. Sabalenka pushed hard, searching for the explosive winners that had carried her to two previous titles in Melbourne. Rybakina, however, stayed remarkably composed. T4-4. The match reached its defining moment. Rybakina elevated her level, producing a sequence of fearless returns and clean baseline strikes to earn the decisive break. Unlike past heartbreaks, she did not hesitate. Serving for the championship, she remained unflappable, sealing the victory 6-4 with an ace that perfectly symbolized her calm authority throughout the night. Redemption and history. As Rybakina dropped her racket and raised her arms, the significance of the moment was unmistakable. This was more than just a win, it was closure. By conquering Sabalenka on the same stage where she once fell short, Rybakina exorcised the ghosts of 2023 in the most emphatic way possible. The Daphne Akhurst Memorial Cup marks the second Grand Slam title of her career, following her breakthrough Wimbledon triumph in 2022. More importantly, it cements her status as one of the defining champions of her generation, capable of beating the very best when it matters most. What it means for the WTA landscape. Rybakina's victory reshapes the balance at the top of women's tennis. Sabalenka remains world #1 and a dominant force on hard courts, but this result proves she is no longer untouchable in Melbourne. For Rybakina, the win adds belief, legacy, and momentum heading into the rest of the season. This final also reinforced the growing rivalry between two of the game's most powerful competitors, one that promises many more epic encounters on the biggest stages. A champion rewritten in Melbourne, Elena Rybakina didn't just win a title. She rewrote her story. Calm where it once slipped away, composed when the pressure peaked, and ruthless when the opportunity arrived, she stood tall against the best in the world. The Australian Open has a new queen, and her reign feels only just beginning.